what 4 years of studying physics at university taught me. That's what we're going to talk about today. And it all comes down to the single biggest takeaway is something called first principles thinking. Elon Musk swears by it, and it's definitely the most pivotal approach to thinking that has led to the success of business that we have seen so far. And the premise is very simple. Rather than reverse engineering what you want, you start from the very bottom and you say, okay, this is what we know to be fundamentally or physically true by the limitations of the laws of nature, and then you work up from there. So I'll give you an example of a problem that we had today. So flying out to the US today, and the flight is at 9:25. My dad said he wanted to come pick us up and take us to the airport because, you know, last time to see us, all that sort of stuff. So we agreed, 7 o'clock pickup time. It gets to 7:04, giving him a call, going straight to voicemail, send him a message being like, "You alright? I hope everything's okay." No reply. So about 7 minutes pass. Here we've got 2 hours, 20 minutes or so to catch the flight. Now, most people in stressful situations like that, things that don't run to plan, just freak out, and lots of emotion, lots of panic, which just doesn't help you. So slowing down, taking a minute to think of what's physically possible, what options do we have? So with 2 hours and 20 minutes to go, the drive is 20 minutes to get to the airport. That's plenty of time. So no need to freak out just yet. So what do? Try and get in contact as many ways as possible. So calling my dad, calling his partner, WhatsApps, voicemails, texts. After about 5 minutes, we're like, right, well, I want to go to the airport, I want breakfast. So let's order an Uber. That's well within our control. It's just a money problem. So we order one. A few minutes later, get a message from dad being like, "I've just woken up, sorry, I'll be there." Get on the phone to him. He's like, I'm like, "Oh, it's good, we've got an Uber." He's like, "No, cancel it, I want to take you." And I'm like, the time is not great. And he's like, "It's fine, I'll come get you." So I cancelled it. We paid a little fee, whatever. He picked us up. Great. Still had time for breakfast. Still had time waiting at the gate. It was all good. And I think it's worth thinking things through from like what's physically possible and not freaking out, because having that additional emotion just doesn't help you solve a problem. Definitely feel an emotion and then let it go if it is bothering you. But for example, a 20-minute drive away, Uber exists, there's a solution. Now, if you try to find, you click on Uber and you have no options of cars picking you up, okay, how else could you get there? Well, I physically have a car, we could have driven there, parked up, and then sent a message to my dad and say, "Hey, can you pick up the car?" We could have called every taxi service in the area. I know it was early, but if someone was willing to pick up, maybe call a friend who lives close by. Like, there are so many options of physically how you can get there on time, or physically how you can do something that you can consider. As an example, walking, out of the question, not even worth thinking because it's just too far away, we'd miss the flight. Public transport, same situation. If we had to walk, it's 20 minutes to the local train, and then unfortunately to get from where we live to Heathrow, you've got to take a stupid train line, you've got to go into central London and back out, and again, that would have been cutting it fine, but potentially possible. And it's just weighing up, like, what options do you know exist, and then lay them out, what do they look like? And it's a fun one to think about. So, the best example of this I have is a great story of when we were in the chocolate factory. We had just done a stock take and found out that we had 600 chocolate bars fewer than we thought we had in stock, which is quite a problem. Because at the time we were only making about 120 a day, something like that. And we had a 5-day 3 to 5 day delivery time or fulfillment time. So that one problem, if no one else ordered, we'd clear within 5 days. The issue is we were making and selling about 120 bars a day. So how are we going to catch up? And that same day, so it's not that big a problem, but that same day our chocolate machine broke, which doubled the rate of production in the chocolate factory per unit time. So we were like, oh, this is a real problem. And a friend of mine who was with us at the time, we'd had a crazy journey, we doubled 3 months in a row, pretty much had a mental breakdown. It was wild, and was like on the floor, head in his hands, like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? This is ridiculous. We can't do it, because this has just been a 10 grand problem. That's how much the machine cost. It was then costing us 2 grand a day for every day that it was out, and we needed to come up with a solution. So I was just still and silent for about 45 seconds, just doing the maths, and I was like, okay, turn the microwaves on. Let's go. Let's do this by hand. And just did some rough calculations. I can't remember the exact numbers, but it turned out that if we worked by hand and we both pulled double shifts, we would catch up with the behind stock and be up to date with orders that were coming in if we did that for, I think it was 10 days. And every minute we wasted was a minute wasted. And it's a solution that worked, a skill we had, an option we could just take, so we did it. We immediately turned the microwaves on and started going and tempering by hand, which is a massive pain. Way higher skill tolerance, half the speed, but we got it done and we just committed to it and went. And then only months later did I realise it was a cool thing when my friend, when he was finishing up with us and, you know, we're through the woods and he was leaving, did he come and say, like, that experience was wild to see. And then it stuck with me since, the story that he recounted to me of the situation, where you come up with a solution. If you are happy with the path chosen and it physically works, just get started. The only thing you're then wasting is time. If along the way you come up with a better idea, you can always rework it, but get started anyway. So I'll go into more details about exactly how you do first principles thinking a little bit later, but I just wanted to share like that general premise and those few stories with you today, because I'm really tired and the jet lagged as hell. Should be in bed right now, but it's still sunny outside. Very confusing. Feeling a little sick from it, but hey, one more flight and then we're there. Alright guys, have a great day. Lots of love.